Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. I'm Jacob Letman. Good to have you back here. We got a great video in store for you today. Before we get started, I would love to help you guys save some money on your fuel fill-ups. So all you need to do is go down into the video description below. There's a link there. Click that. It's going to be for the Get Upside app. That's what you're looking for. Video description, the Get Upside app. Download that app onto your phone. Use our sign-up code. Get signed up. You're going to save 15 cents back on your initial fuel fill-ups, and then you'll continue to save money at participating gas stations in your area as long as you use the app. So do it. Save that cash. Cha-ching. All right, you guys. Hey, so what I want to speak with you about today are the reasons that I am potentially quitting Lyft. So I have other videos out there that talk about how I didn't sign up with Uber, and the reason for that, short synopsis, is because I had an issue with the sign-up process and getting them to verify my driving history, which is clean. Feel rested, safe and secure and assured that I'm a qualified driver. It was totally on Uber's side. They were the faulty party. Lyft passed me, cleared me for takeoff to drive rideshare, and that is why I've been driving with Lyft. However, since I signed up over 3 years ago, there have been some major changes in the platform all across the board, and I'm going to cover those things with you today, which have really, kind of been some sour grapes for me with my experience. When I first started driving for Lyft, I was always... there were a lot of passengers asked this question, right? I'm sure you've had it. Do you drive for both Uber and Lyft? Which do you prefer? And so when that came up, I kind of told them the gist of my story that I just told you. And I would throw it back on them and say, well, you tell me, which do you prefer? Uber or Lyft? And I gotta say, when I first started driving, probably about 80% of people told me that they preferred using Lyft over Uber for ordering the rides. Now, initially that was because Lyft did a deeper background check than Uber did, and so that disqualified a lot of drivers from driving for Lyft. And so, you get all sorts of people who drive for rideshare. We know that for sure. Anyway, coming full circle to this. Let's talk about some of the things that have changed with Lyft and why I am potentially going to be making the switch over to Uber. Crazy, right? Okay, so first, this is a big one for me, and that is rate changes. So there have been 3 notable rate changes since I started driving, and it's not only the fact that there have been rate changes, but it is also how Lyft has presented those rate changes, and that's really what's rubbed me the wrong way. So, because of this channel and because of who I am, I pay very close attention to my earnings, my gross earnings and my net earnings, including all of my expenses, everything, and then including things like my car expenses, fuel. Those are the major ones for sure, right? Mechanical stuff and fuel expenses. What else is there? Mileage that I put on, so car depreciation. I want to take all those things into account because rideshare is still relatively new in our society, and there's a lot of information out there, right? You can get wide spreads of information financially on what you can make and what your expenses cost. And the issue is it's so circumstantial based on your vehicle type, the year, the mileage, so many different things, where you live for gasoline. So anyway, I'm getting kind of off on a tangent here. But the rate changes have been painted as these... It's going to be so beneficial for you as a driver. I will tell you that not once has it been a beneficial rate change for me as a driver. It has, at best, stayed about the same, and the recent rate change has cost me quite a bit of money, substantially so. And so those rate changes changed So at first, let's put it this way, mileage was 100% king, right? You're making much more money on mileage and next to nothing on time, which when I started, I was driving in California, and that sucked because I was sitting in traffic a lot, and I think it was 5 cents a minute that I was making. It was 5 cents a minute before Lyft takes out their cut that I was making. Okay, so that changed, right? They started to pay us more for our time, but they took some off of our mileage as well. And so I was like, well, that sucks. It basically kind of worked out the same for me, except on long mileage rides, I ended up losing money. Now, and then it changed again. And then this last one, when they changed it to we start earning right away as soon as we hit accept on the rides, I was like, oh, I mean, they made it seem real cool. Like, you're going to start making money as soon as you hit accept. Awesome, right? Well, in theory, yes, but no, it has actually cost us quite a bit of money here driving in the Phoenix area because they substantially took away how much we make per mile. And so any of our decently long rides, which there are quite a few here because it's a very spread out area, and people drive further than like in LA. People in LA, you go like 5 miles, maybe 10 miles max usually. Here people go 20, 30 miles all the time. And we've lost a lot of money on those rides. So rate changes, that's a big one for me. Let me do this actually this way. So how much money they're taking, let me elaborate on that. So originally when I signed up, right, Uber took 25%, Lyft took 25% of our earnings. So if a ride, was $10, we would make $7.50, and Uber or Lyft would take $2.50. And that is how it was presented, and that is how it was calculated. And unfortunately for me, I did not double check that math because I have since come to find out that there are drivers that were more on top of checking that, and there were a lot of instances where Uber or Lyft took more than that, and the drivers would have to call and have that reversed, and Uber and Lyft would chalk it up to tech issues. And it happened a lot, and probably in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, I bet, that people were not aware. Anyway, this kind of stuff sits sorely with me. So recently, when I found out that this is what happened. Lyft on their website changed their verbiage on how our pay is calculated. And it now says it is calculated by, let me think about how this is said. I want to get this right. It says our driver pay is not directly related to what a passenger pays. Meaning that, and they set it up this way because sometimes the rate that they offer the passenger will be higher or lower based on demand in the area. So if there's low demand, they might try and incentivize rides by lowering the price, which I bet doesn't happen all that often. Or if the demand is high, they will raise the price. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's surging for the drivers. Our pay is always going to be calculated off of mileage and time. So here's what I found out. And you can look, I've got a video on the channel. Please check it out. It talks more into this. I think it's really an injustice and everybody should know. I did some calculations and I found that there was a week where Lyft took 48% of the earnings so my passengers paid, a certain amount, and they took 48% of that, and I only took 52. So that set so poorly with me. I was so frustrated to find that out, that they were taking so much money. And So much so that I tried to contact customer service with Lyft to talk to them about it and just get their thoughts and feedback, because I wanted to record that conversation, put it on here in a video for you guys to listen to their explanation. But you know what? I have been trying for 3 weeks now, and I cannot get them to call me about it. So it used to be that Lyft had a customer service number that you could call. You could speak with a customer service representative to help you. That was an option. They obviously prefer email because there's so many drivers out there. But Uber didn't have that. Uber just was email correspondence only ever since I tried to sign up with them 3 years ago. But recently I found out that Lyft customer service number is now got the axe. It's gone. You can't call them anymore. There's no way to. You can call an emergency number if you're in an accident. That's the only way to get a hold of them that I've found. So on that note, they're ignoring my emails. I've sent them a plethora of emails asking them to kindly give me a call so I can discuss my earnings report with them. Nothing doing. I also found, so in New York was the first city to set a guaranteed hourly wage for their drivers. And I've done hours of research on that topic, and it is still quite unclear to me where that actually sits. It went into law, so technically they have to uphold that, but I'm a little unclear on where that's actually at. So if you're a driver in New York and you're watching this, please jump down in the comment section below. Let us know where that all stands. We hope you're making your money. I'm a little confused. I know, and actually this brings me to my next point. Lyft was aggressively fighting that, as was Uber. And this is another reason that kind of turned off by the rideshare industry as a whole, actually. If we jump to California and look at the situation there with the bill that's being passed, which will pretty much make drivers in California qualified as employees, and they will not qualify as independent contractors, which changes the whole gamut. The whole kit and caboodle's getting mixed up in California. Stay tuned there, because it's getting weird, and it could have a lot of big implications for rideshare in general. But the whole time that this bill was going through the process of, Uber and Lyft have spent tens of millions of dollars aggressively fighting it. And in my mind, and here is how I know that they know they're full of shit, is that they came back, right? Uber and Lyft came back, I forget which one, before this bill was passed, and said, okay, wait, hold on. White flag, we'll wave the white flag here. We don't want to qualify these drivers as employees for X, Y, and Z, which I agree with. But they pay us like crap. That's the real issue. That's why the striking happened. That's why any of this is what it is. And so they were like, hey, so what we'll do is we will guarantee to pay our drivers at least $21 an hour in California. Which, you know what? Drivers would have been sweet. We would have been like, yeah, what's up? We're good with that. But it was too late. The ball was already rolling on the bill. But to me, that just proves the fact that they know they're not treating their drivers right. And look, they're a corporation, and they're trying to pay us kind of the least amount that they need to. It's like towing the line between, how can we make this look like a good job and incentivize people to come drive? Because a lot of people need extra money, right? It's hard to have just one income anymore, truthfully. So we can incentivize people. We'll give them just enough to make it look good. Anyway, there's a lot of things that have turned me off. So the final thing, I know this is long and winded. Thanks for sticking with me. But the final thing is, when I initially signed up, there was a really good bonus structure with Lyft. Each week, there was a power driving bonus, a tiered power driving bonus, where, you know, if you gave 20 rides, you make this much more, 50 rides, blah, 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 80, 115. It was tiered, and the top level was pretty much unattainable. But the point is, it was pretty easy to hit the lower levels if you even drove part-time. And so that was extra incentive to be driving to make extra money. And they played around with some other fun ones, like guaranteed hourly if you gave 2 rides in an hour. If you didn't, if you didn't make, well, one example, like in busy Saturday nights, you could drive from the hour of 6 to 7, and it would be a guaranteed rate of $40. So if you gave 2 rides and it only added up to $12, they covered the other $28, so you made $40 in that hour. And that lasted for a while, and I thought that was really cool. And then they got rid of that. And now it's faded to where I have barely had any bonus offers in the last year. Maybe 10 weeks out of last year I've had bonus offers. And I emailed them about it, and they were like, oh, well, yeah, it's not a guaranteed thing. And then I started getting more. I got like 4 or 5 after I emailed them. Ridiculous. Anyway, I'm kind of turned off by a lot of things with Lyft. They seem to be all over the board. They're changing things, and I don't think they're really taking driver considerations into account, even though they really want to put themselves out there as like a good experience for drivers and passengers. All right, you guys, that's what I have to say on this topic. That's why I might be quitting Lyft and moving over to Uber. If you guys have any insight or thoughts on this, which I'm sure you do, please jump down into the comments section below, and we'd love to hear from you guys. All right, that's what I got for you. I'm Jacob Lettman. This is the Rideshare Hub. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Until then, drive safe, everybody.